This episode of Horror Movie Talk brought to you by PantsBox. Give the gift of warm legs to your husband with a subscription to PantsBox. Each year, we'll send out a new pair of denim pants for your spouse. There's no need to worry about washing or drying them. They're jeans. And by the time your husband will get around to it, he'll get his yearly pair delivered right to his doorstep. Go to biz.pants.net with a Z to sign up today. Use HMT at checkout to get a free Rocky t-shirt. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk, an opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Your schlubby hosts each week are Bryce Hanson, a cisgendered white male, and David Day, who doesn't conform to your social constructs. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. I'm Bryce Hanson.
I'm David Day, and I don't conform to your social constructs.
So we got a great show today. First of all, we have a special guest, Greg, from the We Shouldn't Be Here channel on YouTube. Say hello, Greg.
What's going on, everybody?
So you can find him on Twitter at WSBH_narrator.
There we go.
So we've actually been on your podcast. On your channel, you have kind of a sub podcast where you do movie reviews, and we've been on there for the Paranormal Activity 2.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's correct.
And I was on for Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
That's pretty cool.
And we really appreciate you having us on your show, so we wanted to invite you here. And it's a new thing for us, so if the audio sucks, blame it on me.
And we will.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about The Perfection.
A lot of buzz about this movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the audio.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the movie.
Okay. So if you've never listened to Horror Movie Talk before, we start out giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being a miserable dredge where it makes you angry just watching it. 5, completely average, hits all the expected marks. And 10 is so good that it transcends genre boundaries. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. We'll make sure to mark spoilers for you so you don't ruin the film for yourself.
Yee. And there's a lot to spoil in this film, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. And then later on, we'll be doing a couple bits. We'll be doing perennial favorite taglines with our special guest and kill count. It's been a while since we've done kill count.
Yeah, it has been. We're bringing it back. What's kill count about?
We'll describe it when we get to it.
Okay.
But first, we want to talk about our website, horrormovietalk.com. That's horrormovietalk.com. There you can find links to our social media and all of our past episodes. One of my favorite features, if you go to the episode post, we have the time codes where you can skip around and, skip the boring parts like the fake ads and whatnot. Just so you know, we post every Wednesday, and if you want, you can subscribe on iTunes or your favorite platform. Later on, if you're still around, we'll tell you how you can support the show. But before we do that, let's get into the sweet, sweet content.
Could we give a plug for We Shouldn't Be Here just to let our audience know what Greg's channel is about?
Yeah. So We Shouldn't Be Here. Greg, you want to tell us what you do on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. So I am the creator on my YouTube channel. It's called We Shouldn't Be Here. And I specialize in true scary horror stories, and I narrate them. And I find a bunch of true incidents that have happened to people, real incidents, and I narrate them in a nice deep voice. And then I have scary, sounds in the background, like crickets chirping and howling wind and the noise in the background, And it seems that people really like it, and they really like to put it on when they're going to sleep. I make nice long 4-hour videos for people to fall asleep to. And Bryce, like you were saying earlier, I have kind of like a little sub genre that I do on my channel where I try to stick to horror movie reviews. I will branch out. Like you said, I had Avengers Endgame not too long ago. And that was fun, but I try to stick to horror because most of my fans like the horror genre. So that's what I do. I read scary stories, and come check it out if you want to.
Yeah,
and that's it.
People do seem to like it a lot. I remember when we were on your channel, it was November, December 2018, and I think you had 16K subs, something like that. And I checked on your channel like this week, and it was like 22 or something like that. So you
got 30,000 subscribers right now.
Holy shit!
I hit 30 yesterday.
Congratulations!
Getting to be a big boy.
Thanks, guys.
So you definitely did us a much bigger favor having us on your podcast than we're doing for you having you here. But
I mean, truthfully, real quick, when I started doing my YouTube channel, I didn't expect anybody to watch it ever. It was actually, I had a failed movie review channel first, and then I started doing this, and this one picked up for some reason. I don't know why, but people like it. And I always told myself, because I got some help from other narrators, boosting me up when I first started. And I always thought, if I get a little bit of attention in something where I can make a difference, I would love to just put anybody that I like on my channel and just try to help whatever they're doing. And, I've been a fan of your guys's since, I found you. I went back and listened to all your old episodes, and just fell in love with your guys' content. And the minute that I knew I could have you on my channel, I just wanted to showcase your guys' podcast as best as I could and try to help out as best as I could. I don't know how much I helped, but if I can get you one new listener, it's good for me.
Helped out a lot, man. We really appreciate it. We thank you very much.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We did notice a bump after we were on, so yeah, your listeners are simpatico.
Yeah,
as they say in old Mexico.
So today we're reviewing The Perfection.
And it was good bad.
It was good bad.
Let's play the trailer.
Okay. What is happening to me? I'm burning up.
It's gonna be okay, Liz.
Oh, it's not. Oh, God, it's not. Listen to me. Something is wrong. Something is wrong with me.
Lizzie, I know. That's why we need to get you help.
I'm dying. I'm dying. What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, my God.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. What is it?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Okay, Lord. It's bugs. Help me. Help me, Sarah. Help me.
You know what you have to do.
Well, you know what happens now.
Loud noises! So yeah, you can find The Perfection on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. So the synopsis, Netflix wants their own Get Out. So they hired Allison Williams from Get Out to star in it because they could. Williams plays a former cello prodigy named Charlotte that was sidelined because she had to take care of her dying mother. When her mother dies, Charlotte calls up her former dean at the prestigious Back Off Academy of Music to try to re-enter the world of world-class cellists. She meets the latest prodigy, Lizzie, played by Logan Browning, and she becomes close very quickly, suspiciously quickly. When Charlotte and Lizzie take a trip to China, Lizzie becomes extremely sick, and Charlotte might have something to do with it. The rest of the movie swings back and forth in time and perspective to eventually reveal Charlotte's true motives, and the audience may or may not experience whiplash. The Perfection is not a great movie, but to me, it's on the precipice of greatness. I wish they had committed more to some of the more ridiculous and or tasteless elements. Parts of this reminded me of my wistful favorite, The Human Centipede. Mainly the ridiculous reveals and the mustache-twirling level villain in it. In an age where no one is surprised by Shyamalan-esque twists, instead of upping the ante with the world building or character development, writer-director Richard Shepard ups the ante on the number of twists.
Yeah, there were so goddamn many twists in this movie that I remarked to my wife, who I was watching it with, well, this is the weirdest movie I've ever seen.
The perfection is not without its charm. It gets a B+ for effort, but overall it's a pretty average flick. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
You know, I didn't even think about the score that I was going to give this movie. Not even a little bit up until just the second where you said 6 out of 10. And just because it was definite. Okay, here's what I'll say about the perfection. Here's my quick review / synopsis. It was entertaining. It kept me engaged. And it had some sloppy editing, especially at the beginning, that tried to lose me. You know, it tried its hardest to slough me off. But once stuff started happening, boy, it just popped off and popped off and popped off, and never in the direction that I thought it was going to. Well, the first few twists, I was like, okay, I think I know what's going on here.
Well, yeah. Did you see the trailer before you watched it?
I think I saw the first bit of the trailer, and then I turned it off after.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna say this entertained me enough to hit a 7.
Yeah.
But just because it just. I mean, we'll get into it in spoilers. Trust me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of there's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot of entertainment value in this movie. So I'm going 7. What about you, Greg?
Okay, wow, 7. That's way more generous than I'm going to be. And first of all, I'm not a person who hates everything or a person who loves everything. I see a movie and I pretty much judge it off of certain things that happen and the overall feeling that I'm left with once the movie ends. And for me, when this movie ended, without spoiling anything, I was pretty unpleased. I was like, man, I stayed up super late to watch this, and now I'm gonna be tired at work for nothing. So overall, I'm gonna rate it. Can I do halves?
No.
No, full numbers. Okay,
full numbers only.
I'm just gonna give it a solid 5. 5
solid
out of
5.
10. It was
all right.
completely average to me, and for me, the only reason I watched it was because you guys wanted me to watch this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny when you brought it up, because earlier that day I was on YouTube, and that Looper channel, or one of them, Watch Mojo, one of those channels, they were talking about a movie that's making people physically sick on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what movie is this? And I clicked on it, and it was The Perfection. And so I kind of watched a little bit of it, and they said, you know, this movie's making people physically ill, and spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it. So I turned it off. And then I watched the trailer. So I kind of got a little bit of what the movie might be about. And then when I was watching it, I initially was hooked. I was like, this is cool. I really love what the direction of, you know, what the characters are doing, and some of the twists that are initially happening pretty fast. But then it gets to a point when I could put a slice with a knife right down the middle, and it went from like an 8 to about a 3, which evens out to about a 5 total. So that, for me. So I'll get way into it in the spoilers, but for right now, spoiler free, it was underwhelming. It was a 5 out of 10 for me. And truthfully, this movie had the same effect on me as the movie Us did going into it, with the, how am I trying to say this? With the expectation going in, where I was completely let down, because with Us, it was advertised as the scariest movie of all time.
It was not.
And I was like, what? This is going to be crazy. And then I saw it, and I was like, that was barely scary at all.
It was just kind of a social commentary.
Exactly. And so don't tell me it's the scariest movie of all time, even scarier than The Exorcist, and then it's not. So then with this movie, it's making people physically sick. It's the most gory thing. My wife even looked up what the gory parts were and said, nope, I'm not going to watch this, and she left the room. And so I started rubbing my hands together and smiling,
right,
ready to see some crazy stuff. And to be honest, everything that was crazy and gory in this movie was nothing compared to some other movies that I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
So again, when it was over, I just had this feeling like that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel, spoiler free.
Boy, that's pretty accurate. I got to say, you hit on a lot of stuff. I think the reason this movie worked so well for me is the same reason Kuso worked for me, is because it just hits on the infantile, gross, poop and fart stuff. And I just love it. I just love that gross, super over the top gross stuff.
Yeah, I think the only reason I gave it a 6 and not a 5, because I totally sympathize with you, Greg. Like, it's a very disappointingly mediocre, very, like, right after the midpoint. It's like, okay, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay. Yeah. But I appreciated the ambitiousness of it.
It was very ambitious.
But yeah, they did not quite pull it off. So we'll get into spoilers, but first let's give some promos to ourselves. Let's pat ourselves on the back and give our listeners some stuff to do. So first of all, you can subscribe and leave a review of the podcast on iTunes. We're trying to get up to 200.
200.
We're a 10th of the way there.
I hate it when people say hundy. I don't know why I did that. I fucking hate myself.
Because if we get to 200, we get to be maybe on the Rotten Tomatoes critics list or whatever.
We're aiming for it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, buddy.
If you want to support the podcast, you can buy or rent any movie or pretty much any product on Amazon if you click through the green button in the header of our website. The website, again, is horrormovietalk.com, all one word. You know how websites do it. And if you want to even be more direct, you can just give us money on our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/horrormovietalk. Or we also have a convenient button on the header of our website right next to that Amazon button. Right now, we have a special promo, or what do we call it?
Yeah, it's a promo deal on Patreon.
It's very simple. You sign up, we'll give you a sticker.
We'll give you a sticker. I've been sending out thank you cards. Right now, my thank you cards have hot air balloons on them and little clouds and poofy sky and real pretty. I write it real pretty and I say shitty stuff about Bryson in the thank you card. I say, look at Bryce's small signature. I bet he didn't even really sign that because he didn't. I did. And then I put a bunch of stickers in there and then you get some stickers and you stick them. And then I tell you to vandalize public property and then you do that.
So we got that. Is that for... That's for the tier, right? It's not just anyone?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you sign up as a Patreon, I'm just gonna send you a thank you card.
Only the tiers will get this.
Only the tiers will get the stickers.
So we have one tier. We're very creative. It's $5, and you get to be a Horror Movie Talk founding member.
Yeah, and it's not just like you're paying us. There's also at this point by the time you hear our voices, there will be 4 podcasts, Patreon only exclusive podcasts on our Patreon.
Yeah. So we do after pods where we just kind of keep the mics rolling and just shoot the shit for a while, and you get to hear our inner lives. The first one I aired some
my fucking wife
beef.
Lady
Jessica was like, "Wow. You guys doing okay?" I'm like, oh, that's probably sounded much worse than it was. And then we also have an episode out for talking about Chernobyl, the series on HBO.
Yeah, which just concluded. Man, that was a really sad ending to that.
Yeah.
Almost like in real life.
Please don't spoil it.
Oh, we won't.
Yeah. I mean, it ended like it began. Sad.
Very communist and very sad.
So anyways, that's if you sign up today to be a Horror Movie Talk founding member, you'll get that sticker. And the thing about the Horror Movie Talk founding member is this will be a legacy tier. Even if we discontinue it, you're just going to get everything that we offer to every tier because you were one of the first and we appreciate you.
Maybe we'll offer $1 million and you'll be for the low price of $5 a month, you get $1 million. I don't know. Maybe not.
We will not offer you $1 million.
We will.
Okay, so last one, Shudder. If you know what Shudder is, it's the horror movie Netflix, basically.
Yeah.
If you haven't signed up yet, go ahead and use HMT code at checkout, and you'll get a 30-day free trial. Anyways, who cares about that stuff? Let's talk some shit about this movie. Let's get into spoilers. Spoilers. Okay, so
I gotta tell you, my balls are really itchy tonight. Oof. It's the evening. It's kind of warm.
this is the room of ball itches.
It's moist in here. Ugh.
Wait, are you guys together right now?
Yeah, we're in the same room.
Awkward.
As always, we record naked.
Okay, so let's talk about this movie. So, first of all, the trailer gives way too much away. Basically, it gives the whole first 40 minutes of the movie. There's no suspense.
I'll let you guys talk about that, because like I said, I only watched like the first 15 seconds of the trailer, and then I was like, I don't want to watch this because it's giving too much away.
Yeah, because basically the trailer shows Lizzie when she's freaking out with like the bugs crawling out of her arm, and just as Charlotte offers her the meat cleaver, you know, and it shows her like swinging down to the arm. And it's like, okay, so you know that Allison Williams' character is going to try to ruin this girl. And the first half of the movie is basically setting up this huge romance, but there's a subtext of jealousy. But really, you already know that she's going to, like, literally destroy her.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't watch the whole trailer then.
Yeah, me neither. I refuse. At this point, I kind of just refuse. Like, I have a standard where I just won't watch trailers for anything, especially any horror thing, because I know I'm going to end up reviewing it. And I just don't want it spoiled. Like, horror trailers now are just all about using all the best moments of the movie in the trailer, and it ruins the movie for me.
Yeah, the worst offenders for trailers are definitely horror movies and comedies.
Oh, yeah.
They pick the absolute best moments and ruin them. Anyway, so like, if you're going to watch this movie, well, obviously you're already getting spoiled because you're listening to us, but definitely don't watch the trailer before you watch it. And if you don't want to spoil it, go away. Stop listening and come back later. So, can you tell me why Paloma is even in this movie? What are you pointing at?
Greg.
Greg?
Well, I can't see your finger.
I know. Yeah. I'm just trying to...
He's pointing at a mixer with a billion knobs on it. Like I'm supposed to know what he's talking
Paloma?
about.
Pointing at you, Peter.
So Paloma is...
The most gorgeous... Oh, wait, no. Paloma,
yeah, that's why. Because
who is she?
She's like
his wife.
He's the guy. It's the guy's wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And they make it a real big deal of she's calling him and Paloma.
Yeah.
And she's talking to Paloma, and she's like in it and part of the decision making. And you're like, why? Why is she? It's just weird. Like I expected by the end of the movie that was going to be paid off somehow. That, you know, out of the 20 twists that they include in the movie, that there's going to be something including her. And she was just the most pointless character.
She was truly unnecessary, come to think of it.
Yeah.
She just, I guess the thing she added was like complicitness, like the female complicit person.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to go that far into spoilers right now, but she was complicit in some pretty nefarious shit.
Yeah.
I would say that she was the girl's comfort. Because she was the female side of it.
Oh,
that's what I would take from it.
Yeah, it's like a honeypot.
That's a good point. That she makes like the kids' moms feel okay, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, even like you said, you don't want to get too far into spoilers yet, but you know, after I guess we're in spoilers.
Yeah,
right?
we're in spoilers. Go hog wild.
After the rape would happen, I feel like the guys would leave. The girls would be sad and crying, and she would probably go in and comfort them. And she'd probably tell them, this is natural. This is okay. You know, we love you. And she's probably the woman's touch that the girls need.
See, now,
Greg, you're thinking like a cult leader.
I aspire one day.
If only. Am I right? Living that sweet cult life. Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, you're definitely right, but also we're giving this movie way too much credit.
Right.
because while that is exactly how it would work in this weird sort of rape cult, that we will get into further as we get down the line, they never took and ran with that, right? They never did anything with it. So yeah, Paloma, not necessarily a necessary character.
Right.
Well, imagine also, he's not married. Anton is not married, and he's picking and selecting young women to live in his house with him. You know what I mean? Like, it probably wouldn't look good. So at least he's got a woman there to where it's like more like a husband and wife music couple are bringing in these women, not just a guy.
It legitimizes him and makes him appear a lot less. Because I've noticed that. So for example, here's a fucked up thing. So, I have kids and a wife, but if I'm ever walking around with my infant, and no wife, I get the side eye from every woman on earth. They're like, where'd you get that baby? Is that baby yours? Like, what the fuck are you doing with that baby? And why is it just you? And why is it the middle of the day? Like, don't you have somewhere to be or something to do other than look after a baby? And it's like, I got,
jeez.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce, have you ever, or Greg, have you guys, either of you experienced this?
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Like,
sorry.
I mean, there's a definite thing, like, especially if you've got
a couple,
maybe not a baby. Baby's probably a bit young, but if you're like, have a 4-year-old daughter and you're at the playground with her, there's definitely like an impulse to be like,
she's mine.
Hey, Penny, you doing good over there?
That one's mine over there.
Yeah, like,
we both have pink bracelets to signify our togetherness.
Right. As opposed to just being the guy in your mid-30s sitting on a bench staring at children playing.
Right.
I would say the weirdest thing that I can kind of relate to about that is I've never experienced what you guys have with the side eye, but I have experienced now that I have 2 children, a boy and a girl, and my daughter softened me up like ice cream. I'm super soft now. And so when I'm in public and I see a little girl around my daughter's age, I'll like look at her and I'll smile and I'll go like, hi, you know, not like loud, but I'll just kind of like wave because I have a daughter, you know what I mean? And I have that love now. And sometimes I'll be like, wait a minute, I don't have my kids with me. Like, do I come off looking like I'm about to try and take your kid?
Yeah, on my way to work, I passed this, in downtown Portland, I passed this, like preschool for rich people, apparently.
It's in downtown Portland.
It's like this most fabulous preschool, and it's got these giant windows where you can watch the kids in these giant playrooms, and one of the rooms,
like fish in an aquarium, right?
Yeah, fish in a barrel. One of the rooms is just babies, just literal like babies before they can even crawl. And there's like 5 of them rolling around on the floor, and I walk by them like every day, pretty much.
Pressed up against that window with the babies in it.
And like, I can't help but stare at them. And then progressively they're like putting up like little subtle window screen things. Like, you can't see all the baby. You just get to see some of the baby.
Get a half a baby.
But yeah, I feel like on the one hand, like I could understand if I was a parent and I just watched like, you know, middle-aged, you know, schlubby dudes walking by the window staring at my baby all day, maybe it might make me a little nervous.
See, I think that we've really hit what's really going on here. Greg sounds like a put together kind of guy who's probably handsome, and we're just some fucking terrifying looking morbidly obese assholes.
Right.
And
yes.
And people go, Jesus Christ, anyway. So we take a special offense when our kid's around.
Right.
We're like, oh God. Don't look at me.
I have a neck tattoo and my knuckles and hands are tattooed. Like,
girls love that shit. They just think you're the bad boy.
Exactly, but moms don't like it with their kids around. They're like, yo, where'd you do time? I'm like, I didn't. I've been at work all day.
Okay, so getting back to the movie, one of the things that really worked for me was Steven Weber he plays a great pretentious music teacher.
Boy, does he.
Just like spot on.
What else has Steven Weber been in? Can you recall?
He's only been in really stuff that I never really watched. I know he was on Wings.
Yeah. That's where I remember him from.
Yeah, I never watched Wings, but I heard it was really good. But I don't know.
I wouldn't go nuts.
I was more into Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula.
We know.
So anyways, he was great. So Charlotte comes back to the music conservatory and she's given side eye to the new,
the new apprentice.
But quickly she's like super friendly and Lizzie talks about how Charlotte was a role model. And so they strike up a quick friendship by making fun of Chinese parents,
Yeah. Making fun of China.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't help but notice China was prominently featured in this movie. And I've noticed that, in my news feed, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I'm getting a lot of articles about things, Chinese exclusive or content that is made for China hitting Netflix. Right. That doesn't ever hit your feed. Like because it's made for China, you don't ever it doesn't get thrown in front of your eyes. But if you search for it, it's there. Well, this is a little bit of a crossover piece, right? Because this is some quote unquote American content that features China prominently that,
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be the sign of something more to come for Netflix.
Yeah. So anyways, they strike a quick friendship. There's some hot girl on girl action.
The hottest. Let me just say, these are two of the most gorgeous women in all of Hollywood right now.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
What's not the white girl? What's the other girl's name?
I have it
Lizzie?
here.
Yeah, Lizzie.
The girl that plays Lizzie is
She has a guy name.
Logan Browning.
Whoa,
Yep.
that is a guy name. Good job.
A little too on the nose.
Man, she is drop dead
Eyes, dude.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how pretty this girl is.
Believe it, baby.
Yeah, and that was pretty hot. And then
Yeah, so they go to town on each other real fast.
and they're in China together. They go on a trip to China cuz Lizzie wants to live adventurously.
That cello life.
Yeah. And then when they're on this bus, she starts getting sick, like really sick.
Logan Browning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like thrown up bug sick. They get off the bus and it is basically most of it is shown in the trailer. Lizzie is freaking out and Charlotte's like, "You got bugs on you. Look at all those bugs."
Whoa, wait. You just threw up and there's bugs in your throw up. And the girl's like, "Oh my God, there's bugs in my throw up."
And she's like, "Well, you better chop off your hand."
Whoa. We're skipping over the reason I like this movie so much. Which is, okay. Let me. Okay, so, Logan, the drop dead gorgeous girl, starts throwing up on this bus. And, I've got some stuff in my notes here. This is the most American bus ride ever. Because, Americans get on the bus while sick. Okay, that's a super fucking American thing to do. And the first thing the Chinese people do is they're like, "Can you put on this mask? Can you put on this mask and wear it so that, everybody here doesn't get sick because you're gross?" They're like, "Yeah, okay." And then she proceeds to barf everywhere on the bus. Also very, very American thing to do. And then they just yell. They yell and scream. And then... And then and then there's a good 2 minutes devoted to her being like, I'm gonna poop on the bus. And this is really the core of my love of this movie is I really wanted her to poop on that bus. Like, I was just like, I really hope she poops. 'Cause they spent so much time. She's like, I'm going to shit myself. And all these people are like, no, please don't do that. And I'm like,
now just imagine the roles were reversed and you're on a crowded bus like a Greyhound going from here to New York. And there's these two Chinese women and one of them's just screaming out in Chinese and throwing up everywhere and running back and forth.
And holding her butthole.
Yeah. I don't blame them for kicking him off. Like, get out.
Yeah, but they kick him off in the middle of the wilderness.
I mean...
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It was the right thing to do. I won't argue with you. I just wish she pooped on the bus. That's all I'm saying.
That's reason number one where they should have gone farther.
Hail to the bus driver, bus driver. They should have started singing that, and then the bus driver would have kept him on the bus.
And I don't know if you guys are going to read the entire synopsis of the movie and then talk about it, or if you kind of want to talk about it as you're going.
It's kind of freeform.
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to bring a few things up.
Sure, go for it.
Already. The very opening of the movie starts out with a close-up of a dead lady in a bed. And I don't know about you guys, but that part was promising to me. When that happened, I was like, all right, they nailed that. This is going to be a good, scary movie. Because that lady creeped me the F out.
Yeah, it smacked a little bit of Gerald's Game, which it was a spectacular Netflix exclusive. It felt very alarming and it kind of singled you out on the couch. You're sitting there on the couch, and then you see a dead woman looking at you for a good amount of time.
Reminded me of Zelda from Pet Sematary.
Me too.
Yeah, it did kind of.
Yeah. It was the red hair. Yeah, that's what did it. But yeah, for sure. That was freaky. And I was like, ugh, this is weird. And then they even show that you get your first jump scare when whoever the people were, they were talking in the hallway about her being dead or something. And Charlotte, that's her name, right? Charlotte?
Yeah.
She's sitting in the chair, and then it flashes back to when she's younger and she's screaming for some reason. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just like, ah! And like, that made me jump because it was out of nowhere. So from the dead body, which I thought looked really good, and then that little jump scare in the beginning, like I said, it felt promising. And that's why I was like, this movie is already like an 8 or 9 for me. And then as they're in, wherever they are, and you see that guy, China somewhere, yeah. And you see them going down the elevator, and there's that one Asian guy who, is obviously he's either the husband of the cheating lady or he's the guy that's cheating with the lady. And he throws up that yellow Gatorade vomit.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And they even mentioned, they're like, I think this might be the same thing that's happening in that other area.
This might be hemorrhagic fever that's going on down in Laos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they specifically make it a point to mention that something's going on. So from that point, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be like, what was the Bird Box or something where it affected everyone.
Oh man.
Or The Happening where it starts off in New York and then you can see that it's spreading all over, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. And then, but see, that's the thing is then when, whatever her face is, what's her name? Who gets sick? Lizzie. When Lizzie gets sick on the bus, I was like, oh, okay, she got it. And then she even mentions like, Charlotte, you might get sick too. And she's like, no, I'm fine. But
don't worry about it.
I was like, okay, this is going to be a super contagious, disgusting movie where everybody's infested with this bug and literal bug and they're puking up maggots and stuff. And I was in for it. And then when you found out that Charlotte was the person behind it, just giving her hallucinogenic pills, I was like, well, why is that other guy sick? And then why did they make it a point to bring up that other people are getting sick around the world?
It's
they dropped it.
Yeah, you're definitely right. On the other hand, I mean, I don't know. They needed some way to, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue into twist number 1 in the perfection was that it wasn't a sickness. Charlotte poisoned Lizzie.
Dun, dun.
Yeah. Except it was very obvious. I don't know. Again, I'm going to go back to the trailer. It's very obvious from the trailer that Charlotte had something to do with this from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so it was not surprising at all when it rewound. And which is, if you're going to use that tactic of like, let's jump back and show a different perspective, I wouldn't wait 40 minutes into the film because it just feels cheap at that point and not like part of the package.
Yeah, it doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel like a common thing that this film does. It feels like a one-off thing that it's doing to be cute.
Yeah, it feels very much like a 12-year-old making up a story as they go, but actually, this is what happened.
Whoa.
And he goes back. Yeah. Anyways, were you surprised by the twist, Greg?
No. Okay. Yes. Honestly, I was. Like I said, I didn't get to that point in the trailer where she busts out the meat cleaver. I did not see that part. So when she said, you know what you have to do, right? And she busts it out, I was like, oh, honestly, I was like, oh, come on. They saw her be creepy, and it was the same type of delivery in Get Out when she holds the keys up in her right hand and she goes, you know I can't let you leave, right, babe? And then in this, it's the same exact delivery. She goes, you know what you have to do, right? I was like, oh my God, they told her to do that. The director was like, you know that thing you didn't get out? Do it again. And that's all that I read when I saw that. And then when she chopped her hand off, I was like,
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I look at those things.
That's a really good point. She did the exact same thing in Get Out.
I'm telling you, Netflix wanted their Get Out.
Yeah.
Sure did. But I think when they did the rewind thing, I don't think they rewound far enough, personally. They rewound to the point when the girl Lizzie wakes up and she's like, hey, are you hungover? And she's like, yeah. That's where they rewound to, and I feel to have a better story, they should have rewound even further to when Lizzie was pointing out the Asian couple that was cheating on each other, and it should have had one extra little scene where you see Charlotte dropping some of the pills or something into that guy's drink, and that explains why he was puking at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point. Actually, that brings up one of my other notes. So early in the movie, when Charlotte and Lizzie are watching that Asian couple flirt with each other, they're not a couple. They're cheaters. They're cheating on their spouses with each other. Then Lizzie says to the other one, Charlotte. I can't believe I forgot Charlotte's. That's the name of my daughter. Lizzie says to Charlotte, oh man, to be honest, it makes me kind of wet. And at that point I wrote 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because it's like a close up on her mouth to her ear, and you're like, God damn.
I was like, oh.
So right after twist number 1, it jumps over to the Back Off Academy.
Back off. It's spelled Bach, OFF.
Yeah, either one, it's a pun.
It's back off.
The two cellists are having a back off.
Shit.
Or they're telling the teacher to back off.
This is a quadruple entendre.
So back at the school, Anton is showing the newest student the most acoustically perfect room in the world. And only the best of the best can perform in this room. And at the time, it just feels like him being super pretentious, for sake of pretension, for the character development. But actually, that's important later on.
Yeah.
Anyways, Lizzie arrives at the school, and they're shocked to see that she don't have no hand no mo. And they give, like, pretty quickly give Lizzie the boot from the academy.
Yeah, they're like, well, you can't really play the cello anymore, so I guess we'll just kind of, I mean, I know you are our, like, you were the thing that brought us to the forefront of every market in the world, but bye.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that he was extremely cold-blooded by doing that? Or he even offered to pay for, an apartment or whatever for her to live in, but he makes a point. You were here because you were a talented musician. If you can't play, we're not a housing facility. We don't just keep people.
Okay, watch. First of all, I don't like your tone. And second of all, How dare you cisgendered white male? Of course that's what you'd say. Jesus Christ!
It totally makes sense that, like, okay, you're a one-armed cellist. It's not like you're going to bring a lot of fame and fortune from your performances anymore. But to be honest, to be a devil's advocate for Lizzie here, you can still teach music without, playing it.
That stump lends you new talents, girl.
Yeah. We'll find out later on. So first of all, we know that Lizzie survives, and we find out very quickly that Charlotte survived. Why were there no charges filed?
I assume because it's some sort of, like, not in the country sort of thing, right? Didn't happen here, so we don't have any jurisdiction. Like, you cross state lines, you Duke boys.
Oh, I guess they did cover it because, like, they said, because she did it to herself. It's not like you can say.
There you go.
Yeah.
She said, I took the pills and I cut my own hand off.
That's right. There you go. Anyways, Lizzie goes to Charlotte's house and attacks her. And then it gets to twist number 2. We find out the conservatory is not really a conservatory. It's a sex dungeon conservatory.
My favorite kind of conservatory.
There's a flashback, and it shows the namesake of the movie is The Perfection, which is Anton is obsessed with not only the perfect acoustics, but the perfect performance in this room, and you can only play in that room if it's perfect. And if not...
Well, I mean, buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
You're gonna get raped.
So, this was one of the best shots in the whole movie, and the most disappointing to me. And you may judge me.
Okay.
I'll take it.
I'll judge you.
This movie would have been 200% better if that shot when Steven Weber comes into the view naked, if that was not blurred.
I agree. No,
I agree. If it went just like completely normal, kind of menacing, like Whiplash level, like abuse, to just walking into frame with a big dong hanging down. It's like, all right, this is where we're at now.
What's your hot take on this, Greg?
And I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye. No, I think he should have came in with a boner and a tube sock. We're going to watch American Pie now. You ever seen it?
So I will agree with you, Bryce, because Carrie was like, whoa, he's got a long schlong there. And I was like, what?
Hog.
And so we ended up rewinding it like once or maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times.
Don't blame your wife.
I did. It was all me.
I mean,
and indeed, his schlong was long.
This, like, that moment would have turned it into the spiritual successor to Human Centipede.
Oh, okay.
Of just like,
that's all it takes, huh?
There's that switch that's flipped in Human Centipede where it just goes from something's wrong, this is a weird scientist, to, oh my God, he's explaining how he's going to sew our mouths to each other's asses, where it's so ridiculous of a turn that you just have to appreciate it for how absurd it is. And that would have been, if we're just having a movie about like a rivalry and like insane jealousy, to, no, this man is just here to rape you. That's what this movie is about now.
You know, this movie brings up, it brings up a lot of contentious points, right? It brings up rape culture. It brings up a lot of stuff. But in that, Bryce, what you've just brought up is, it brings up, why is the male body so offensive that it can't be shown?
I know.
Almost ever on camera. The female body, all over the place. I got tits, I got butt, sometimes I got vagina. But almost never on film do you see a long, swanging dong. You just don't see it. You do see it do you see it in Hereditary?
Oh yeah, that blonde bleach-haired guy is in the corner, he's smiling.
There's plenty of, Yeah, it's hard to. You can easily miss it though in Hereditary, right?
I don't know, man.
And
I saw it pretty.
Greg was rewinding that. And he put it in the
I don't know, honey. This
step
Blu-ray
motion.
keeps skipping. Keep rewinding.
What is so offensive about my body besides the way it looks?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into. Well, I mean, we just watched Chernobyl, so that should make up for some of it. They had a huge crowd of Russian.
That's different,
coal
though.
miners
That's historical, Dix. It's important.
True. So the Charlotte's chained and forced to play is, after she comes back, and that's probably one of the greatest visuals of the movie is her in that red dress chained to that chair with all the characters just sitting there watching like, all right, better play good or we're going to rape you.
It was fucking weird. At this point, I was just like, what is this movie? What's happening?
Qualifications.
Rape, murder, arson, and rape.
You said rape twice.
I like rape.
Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say, Greg?
So I was thinking when I was watching it, and I want to know what you guys thought about it. First of all, when you see Lizzie and Charlotte in the beginning playing the cello side by side, their fingers were going in sync with each other. And I'm a guitar player, so whenever I watch people play guitar in movies, I know if they're really playing it or not. Because I know where all the notes are on the fretboard.
Sure.
But I don't know a cello, for instance. And so I was wondering, do you guys think that they both already knew how to play cello, or if they actually are playing cello, or if they had to learn that one song and just practice it every single day over and over again to nail it? Or what do you think?
So, interesting thing about this question is Bryce is minorly qualified to answer it a little bit because his wife actually knows a whole lot of instruments and he's pretty musically inclined himself. So what do you think, Bryce?
I mean, I doubt that they learn the actual song. I bet they watched a video of someone playing it over and over again and kind of figured out most of if the fingers are going up or down. But I don't know. I doubt that they.
Wild speculation from Bryce.
Yeah. I am very qualified to give wild speculation. So they set up this scene where Charlotte's chained to this chair and forced to play, and the minor twist, is that Anton threatens to rape the Chinese girl if she gets it wrong.
If you do bad, I'm going to rape this little tiny girl, this 8-year-old girl.
And that is probably one of the scenes that works best for me, is this Chinese girl listening to this performance, just clueless and just like, yeah, this is great.
What a cool concert, right, guys? She doesn't know what's on the line, which is literally her.
That's the moment that it really gets as schlocky as I wanted the whole movie to be.
It was, at that point, I just went, I can't believe this movie's being made right now. Like, how did this ever happen? Like, I don't know. Greg, at this point where the little 8-year-old girl's, rape is on the line, what was going through your head? Were you thinking cheap or what?
I was thinking this movie's not good enough to have a topic this disturbing in it. Like, that's true. That's truly what I felt. Like,
touché.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some movies that are extremely well written and acted and made, and when they have scenes like maybe not child rape because that's horrible, but if they have maybe being molested, children being molested or something, if it's a well done movie, it can go with them. Okay, let me make my point like this. Have you seen Last House on the Left, the remake?
Yeah.
Okay, the scene where the girl gets raped in the forest. Okay, it's extremely graphic. It's extremely realistic and well done, and it's hard to watch because it's so real.
It feels earned, kind of, in a twisted sort of way.
Yeah, and then when the parents discover that the people in their homes raped and try to kill their daughter, they get the revenge on the daughter. And I feel like the revenge that the parents get on the people is not earned unless you see the rape scene. You know what I mean? You won't have that conviction, like, yeah, get them, you know, because you saw what they did to her. And that's an example of something that's well done with a very serious rape topic in it, you know. But with this movie, I didn't feel like the movie was serious enough and good enough to have even the thought of an 8-year-old being raped by a 50-year-old man in it.
Yeah, that's my thing, is that I think the route that they shouldn't have taken was make it more serious. I think they should have made it much, much more schlocky and just dumb, because that would have been a path to greatness, in my opinion.
It'd have been easier for me to watch.
Yeah. Speaking of rape, how about stump rape?
Oh man, great. This movie just kept delivering weirder and weirder shit on top of weirder shit, which is, I mean, it's like it's trying to up the ante on itself, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, apparently Charlotte didn't play perfect. And they're like, we're not going to rape the Asian little tiny girl. We're going to rape you. Starting with Lizzie Stump. And then that's when twist number 3 happens. Lizzie and Charlotte are in cahoots.
What?
So Charlotte it flashes back and it shows Charlotte explaining poorly, in my opinion, why she had to cut Lizzie's hand off. There's no other way that she would have gotten through to her. You know, that's a really good point, Greg. I didn't even think of that.
Greg coming through with the fucking, the actual answer to the movie. Why'd she have to cut her whole fucking arm off?
Like, maybe just her pinky. You know, Django Reinhardt, he only had 3 fingers on his hand.
Who?
Django Reinhardt. He's a famous jazz guitarist.
Oh, of course. Everyone in the audience knows who that guy is.
Yeah.
Django Reinhardt.
Greg, you know who Django Reinhardt is, right?
No, but I know the drummer of Def Leppard with one arm.
He's only got one arm.
Well, there you go. Same point. Like,
you only know that because of Bloodhound Gang.
Never heard of it. I know.
So, yeah, I mean, couldn't Charlotte just, kidnap and unbrainwash her, or just say, like, hey, do you like all the rape?
How about the rape, though? Was that the good part?
Like, I get that you want to be the best, but look at these girls over here that are also world-class cellists. Do you think they get raped every day? Or maybe they just practice. I don't know. I feel like there might have been, I mean, call me crazy, but I feel like there might have been a better way to convince her to come to her side other than forcing her to cut her own hand off. I don't know. I guess I'm just old-fashioned. For a movie about music, I thought the music on this movie was terrible. Was that just me, or am I just an old man? I thought the hip-hop stuff that they chose was bad. And even the classical stuff that they chose was just like, meh.
It was pretty... Go ahead, Greg.
Okay, I don't have an opinion on classical because I don't listen to classical, but I can tell you that when they were doing, I'm going to go back to that first song that they were playing when they were side by side. There was a note that Lizzie was hitting when they were going like do 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 weep do 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 weep, and then she was like,
let me recreate it. Here, you do the one part, I'll do the weep.
Do 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 do. There you go. And then it went higher, but I really
keep going.
Liked it.
We got to do this.
Do 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 do. You just have that next to you all the time.
Yeah. just in times like these.
Please don't cut this out, man. This is funny.
Okay, proceed. Sorry.
But do you guys remember that part in the song?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was creative in the song and I liked it. And so when it came down to the cello playing, I thought it was cool. but I don't even remember any other music besides when they played the cello. So I guess that speaks for itself on how memorable the music is.
I definitely thought that the it felt it was so strange because it was just inappropriate. It came in at the wrong time. This weird hip hop beat will come in at the wrong time in this super serious fucking, like, this guy's just got done raping somebody, and then it's like boom chicka chow, boom boom chicka brown, and it's like what? Wait, whoa. Like,
yeah, and it wasn't like, it wasn't over the top enough to really sell it, and it wasn't good enough to like sell what it was.
It was goofy as all hell, and it adds to the part that I like about this, which is it's a sideshow circus freak of a movie. Like, it really is. It's just weird and it's inappropriate in every way. Like, there's amputee rape in this movie.
Yeah. So it's revealed that Charlotte and Lizzie are in cahoots, and they turn on Anton, and then the most shocking twist of all, twist number 4, is Charlotte has short hair.
Oh, what?
I have no idea why that was important to include.
I don't either.
It's
Yeah,
like,
they kept shaving her hair over and over again in that flashback.
It's like, okay.
Silly.
It's a mess of a movie.
Now,
It made no sense.
dear listener, at this point you may be saying, what the fuck is going on over there at Horror Movie Talk? They're losing their minds. Well, try watching The Perfection. You'll go, wait a minute. Wait, what? And so we're just recreating what we saw, and this pretty true to life so far.
Right. And then they tumble, they scrapple, and
Scrapple.
One of the great shots is Anton attacks Charlotte with a knife. Basically puts the butcher knife through her arm between the two bones in your forearm and slides it
Easily.
like, yeah, very easily, to which she exclaims, "My arm!"
Yowie, yowie, yow!
I was like, yeah, no fuck. Just slice through the entire length of your arm.
Yeah, you're supposed to go across the street, not up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, we skipped over my one clip that I wanted to play. My one favorite delivery from Steven Weber. You're not going to be able to hear this, Greg.
Set it up for a second.
So this is when Lizzie brings Charlotte back to the school, and she tells him that she's in the trunk.
So Lizzie, at this point, the audience believes that Lizzie has taken control and kicked Charlotte in the ribs, thrown her in the trunk of her car, brought her to the back off academy, and is delivering her to her teacher for the rape. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. Here it is.
What are you talking about? What do you have?
I have the bitch.
Oh my God. Lizzie, what have you done?
It's the most low energy. Like, it feels like it's straight out of Troll 2. Oh my God.
God.
Lizzie, what have you done?
What have you done?
I kind of get what he was going for, but that delivery was like, I keep seeing these little glimpses of the movie that I wanted this to be. The schlocky, over the top, super gory, tasteless movie that it could have been, and that delivery would have been perfect for it.
I don't think Netflix can make that movie. I don't think they can. I
don't even think they showed her chopping off her hand with the butcher knife.
They didn't. They cut away for that. And it would be great if they could make that a splatter movie, basically. But I don't think they can. But on the other hand, this guy who rapes little girls for a living, like, his living is basically raping little celloists. he's not going to be too surprised by much, I guess. Right? So, oh my God, Lizzie.
What have you done?
What have you done?
It really bothers me that Lizzie is this really proper cellist, and when she loses her hand, she loses her properness and she gets all thug, you know? And she's like, you know who I'm talking about, the bitch, you know? And then she like goes over to the house and she's like, you took everything from me, you know? And it's like, you're not all thug now, dude, like, cause you have to wear a black hoodie to, you know, to look like you're the scary guy.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
When she brings it back, she's like, what's in there? I got her.
That might be why the hip hop doesn't feel right either, because it's unearned.
It is completely unearned.
It's like Netflix says, or what's the director? Steven,
now she's urban.
Look, she's black. Oh, yeah. We get to play hip hop.
She's not perfect anymore.
She likes hip hop. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, or they don't really flesh it out the character so much.
With all these imperfections in the perfection being noted, I would like to mention that this movie is off the rails hilarious. It is funny, and it is fun, and it is shocking, and it's as close to a Netflix version of a splatter flick that you'll ever get to see.
Yeah, I think they kind of painted themselves into the corner with Bird Box. Yeah. Where it's like, we want a super wide release, like non-offensive, but still kind of edgy horror movie.
Yeah.
And that's where they're trying to keep their wheelhouse. And they really should just go full retard. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it should have been. So it ends with
you said the R word.
The end of the movie, the last shot features Stump Weber or Stump Anton watching the two play the cello together in a beautiful little image of one playing the neck and the other bowing or plucking. I can't even remember what.
Dude, that was cool though.
It was a really cool visual, and like having the dean with just stumps. He doesn't have any legs or arms anymore, just sitting in the chair watching. It is a great visual, and I wish it was earned.
Wooden arms, wooden legs, wooden eyes too. His eyes were even cut out.
So,
and his mouth was sewn shut.
Yeah, and his mouth was sewn shut.
So the entire movie,
they really fucked him up real good.
Pretty much everything that's ridiculous and all the twists and turns in this movie were to lead to that image and that point. Was it worth it?
Nope. Okay. I know it's a silly movie, so they probably didn't put too much thought into it, but who fixed Charlotte's arm? One. Two, who amputated it perfectly? And also, two, who amputated his limbs and sewed them back together perfectly? Who, did I miss the part where one of them graduated med school?
Well, it does show Charlotte studying up on tourniquet technique on the internet before they leave. That's part of the flashback. So it might have been her, but I mean, She could have just put the tourniquet and then they could have gone to, that's problematic. Maybe they got,
it's problematic.
I mean, maybe the little Chinese girl did it.
Yeah.
I'm delving into real racist territory now. Yeah. That's my prejudice. I just believe that all Chinese people can perform amputations.
Well,
it's just what I've been brought up to believe.
They practice the ancient arts.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe you should back off. Get it?
Back off. Music Academy.
And also, okay, so the twist number one is that Charlotte was really only trying to seduce the girl, Lizzie, to get close to her, to drug her, to have her plan.
Save her.
To save, I guess. And so there was Charlotte mentioned, like, oh, I've never been with anybody, not even a girl. So it's like, it just seemed really fast that they were like, she's like, hey, I get wet. And she's like, cool, I'm a lesbian now, and like, it just didn't make sense. And then also, was Charlotte just going with the flow to get close to Lizzie? Because in that case, was she really even into Lizzie? Is she really even like a lesbian or bisexual or anything? Because when the twist number 3, I think, happens and the 2 stooge guys fall down and die conveniently at the same time, Lizzie and Charlotte start making out. And so I'm like, okay, wait, so are they actually like into each other? Because I still feel kind of like if I was Lizzie, I'd be like, yo, we're good because I understand why you made me cut my hand off. You still cut my freaking hand off. You know what I mean? I have no hand now because of you. I don't want to be around you. You're redeemed, but we're not cool. Like, I don't know. It just seemed a little off to me.
You've already thought more about it than the writers did.
Way more.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like the twists and turns just upon repeat viewing or even thinking about it for more than a couple seconds. You're like, yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. If this was the real end goal all along is to get back at Anton, that's a really convoluted way to get about that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I thought one more thing. This has nothing to do with the movie. It does, but it doesn't. I thought, you know how they both played the cello at the end with one appendage?
Yeah.
I thought, there you go. Right there. Just go back out in the world now and sell yourself as this crazy, duet.
Freak show cello duet.
Freak show cello show.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. And that leads into one of the things that I wrote down, which is, so the little 8-year-old Chinese girl's virginity is on the line with the threat of rape coming at her. And
God.
And I just wrote down, he says to Charlotte, he says, okay, play the perfection or else this little girl gets it. And then Charlotte, first note on the cello is wrong. And she's like, fuck! And then they're like, you know what's happening? I just thought that would have been appropriately schlocky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you do that.
I mean, if you're a real, like, if your first course of action to get back at your teacher that raped you is to poison his star pupil with psychotic substances to get her to cut her own hand off, I'd say if he says, like, I'm not going to rape you, I'm going to rape this girl, you just be like, oh, okay then. Okay. And then just like,
So the closest movie that I can think of that we've reviewed to this is The Evil Within. You remember The Evil Within?
I don't even think we've released that yet. Oh, did we release that?
Yes, we did.
And it's pretty cuckoo.
It's pretty cuckoo.
Evil Within is way crazier than this, though.
It is not only is it way crazier, but it earns all of it in a weird sort of goofy way. And, but both of them are pretty fun in my opinion. You guys, think, Bryce 1 point less and Greg 2 points less than me, but nevertheless, it's a weird ride, and it's on Netflix, and so in my opinion, you should watch it. What do you guys think? Do you think people should watch this movie? And if so, who?
Yeah, I think it's worth a watch just to try to figure out the movie that it should have been. I don't know. It is kind of the perfect Netflix movie because it's like, what are you really going to watch on Netflix?
Gerald's Game, Bird Box.
Oh yeah, all the better movies.
Oh yeah, all the better
But you've
movies.
already watched all those.
Right.
And it's either like I can watch the movie that I know is good for the 5th time, or I can get into that movie that's like a super heavy drama that I'm not in the mood for now. Or, hey, there's the perfection. Netflix keeps pushing this at me. I heard it on Twitter once. Might as well just give it a try. Maybe I'll turn it off halfway through. This is the perfect movie for that.
What do you think, Greg?
I don't think you should watch it unless unless somebody who has seen it told you to watch it and tells you it's not a serious movie. So just know that going in, because when I went in, like I said, I was under the impression that this was going to probably turn my stomach, and this was going to be an extremely disgusting horror movie. I didn't know it was going to be silly, and I didn't know that it wasn't going to make me flinch at all, truthfully.
Yeah, can we talk about that? The whole thing where it says, hey, people were throwing up after watching this movie.
I think Netflix's PR team got on this real hard and pumped some serious shit into social media. And
what was the movie that they said was too scary? We were just talking about this.
Us?
I'm sorry?
There was a movie that we just reviewed like a couple months ago. That like the advance was, this movie, I think it was The Prodigy.
It was The Prodigy, yeah.
They said, it was too scary for audiences, so they had to edit out some of the stuff.
Let me tell you what The Prodigy wasn't.
Or it was like, it was so scary that they were screaming in the aisles that they'd missed an important bit of information that was told. And you watch The Prodigy and you're like, there was no way this movie was ever actually scary.
Right.
So in the same way that this movie, like, I can't imagine who would get sick at watching this movie. It feels so tame compared to other things that you could see.
I've got two movies I want to bring up. Have you seen Hostel #2?
I haven't. I've only seen the first one, and David refuses to watch it.
There's at the end of it. Are you guys going to watch it?
I want to watch it. I want to make David watch it.
Go for it, Greg. Tell us what's up.
Okay, there's a guy gets his dick cut off with scissors.
Boo!
And it shows it. Not like seeing a guy scream and somebody's, hand is off screen and it shows a prosthetic dick getting chopped like Play-Doh with scissors. And
now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, go on. And then they take it and they throw it and a dog eats it.
There you go.
Okay, that happens.
Oh, the dog.
Number 2. Have you seen Terrifier?
Yeah. I have. I don't think Bryce has.
I haven't watched it yet.
Wow. Because this is totally up your alley, Bryce.
Yeah, it really is. With the exception of it being just kind of just schlock. But go on.
It's like a C movie, not even a B movie.
Yeah.
It's very bad. But it's the most disturbing movie I think I've ever seen. For one specific part, which I don't think I'm going to tell you unless you tell me you're not going to watch it, Bryce.
No, I'm eventually going to watch it. So
Okay.
you might have to save it. Here, I'll plug my ear.
Here we go. It's a pretty specific evisceration.
Yeah. It involves a saw,
Hey, Greg, go ahead and spoil it. Bryce has his ears plugged.
Okay, well, I don't want to spoil it for your listeners.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Let's just say there is a gruesomely violent evisceration in Terrifier.
Okay.
Which is different than the movie that we did review, Terrified.
Okay, so we went through final recommendations. I think I actually wrote down a final recommendation. If you want a dumb, campy horror movie with a much larger budget than it deserves, watch The Perfection. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go into our game, starting with Taglines.
Here's Taglines.
Okay, so Taglines is a game where we come up with alternate taglines for the movie we're reviewing. I've just got 3. I kept it short because I know Greg has some and you have some.
Yee.
So let's just go around. I'll start, then Greg, you can go, and then David. We'll do it. We'll do a round. All right. The Perfection. What a great cellist. Let's give her a hand.
The Perfection. Not really, though. That's what I came up with. Not perfect.
I like it.
Okay, The Perfection. Amputee porn is not something you expect in 2019.
All right, The Perfection. 2 twists for the price of 1.
Bingo.
Okay. The Perfection. Don't trust that white girl from Get Out.
No kidding, man.
Yeah.
She's proven herself nothing but untrustworthy. Actually, in this movie, I guess she kind of redeems herself a little bit. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was for Lizzie's own good
Right.
that she had to chop her hand off.
She had to.
That was explained very thoroughly.
And then you stick your amputated arm into my vagina. All right.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. All right. The Perfection. There's always the threat of rape.
I love it.
You guys are good at that.
The Perfection. Not my tempo.
Not my tempo! Yeah. Call back to,
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Do you have another one, Greg?
I don't.
Okay, I got 2 more. The Perfection. It's a twist. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Wait. No, it's not. Oh, it's a rape cult about music. Of course. Wait, it is a twist. And then finally, The Perfection. You'll really wish it had been poop.
Yeah, man. Like, just a couple changes would have made this film like
If she'd have just shit
like
her
a
pants
9
on
or
the
10
bus.
for me. If she had shit her pants on the bus, and if they didn't blur out the dong,
Oh man, if they didn't blur out the dong, 10 out of 10.
and if they showed the hand getting chopped off,
Right.
it's just, man, who edited this thing?
They were in between where they should have been.
Yeah.
They should have either went full goofy or full serious
Yeah.
and devoted all of it either way. But
All right, let's do kill count.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
That's a really cool intro.
Yeah, so thanks to King of All Badgers for providing us with the music for that.
For real, man. Thanks, King of All Badgers.
Okay, so what kill count is I'm going to give you 2 movies, and you have to choose which one has the higher amount of deaths
I like it.
on screen.
I like it.
The theme for today is drama versus horror. So
Okay.
we have 5 movies that are considered dramas, pitted against 5 movies that are considered horror movies. So, David and Greg, you get to guess. Number 1, Blood Diamond, starring Leo DiCaprio in 2006,
Leo Dio.
or Snakes on a Plane, starring Samuel L. in 2006, both the same year.
question.
Yeah.
Is this on-screen deaths
Yes.
like that you see?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Okay. Well, it's your game.
Hey, fuck you, Greg. Okay. I'm gonna let, Greg, would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
I'm going to say Blood Diamond.
See, so I'm gonna expand on that a little bit. I'm also gonna say Blood Diamond. There's 2. Okay, so I used to work at some mines, and there are a lot of fucking people that work at mines, and I've been to mines in Africa. There's a lot of fucking people that work in mines in Africa. So yeah, I'm also going Blood Diamond because there's only a couple hundred people tops on a plane. So also Blood Diamond.
Okay. You are correct. It's Blood Diamond with 187 deaths
God damn.
versus 60 on Snakes on a Plane. Okay, so for the next one, here's what we'll do so that you're not influenced by Greg's answer. You hold up a 1 or a 2 with your fingers, And
Okay.
then Greg will say his, and just to keep you honest. So you're not influenced. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Number 2.
I go first. That means Greg.
I know.
Okay. All right.
No, you don't go first.
Oh, wait.
You hold up your fingers, then Greg says his answer.
That means I go first.
No, you don't say it. The listener will not hear you.
All right.
Okay. Okay. The Atonement, 2007 drama starring Keira Knightley
One of my very favorite movies.
versus Day of the Dead, 1985. So you hold up your... Okay. David has chosen. Greg, what's your answer?
I'm going to say Day of the Dead because it's a zombie movie. So a lot of people must die. And also, I've never heard of The Atonement.
Okay. You guys are both correct.
All right.
Hey, high five, Greg. Woo!
Woo!
So yeah, it's actually a lot closer than you would think. Day of the Dead had 40 deaths. Atonement had 34.
Damn.
Because
What's the Atonement?
Atonement is, it's like a English drama. I think there's a part of it that's in World War I. I think that's probably where all the deaths happen.
It's a spectacular movie. It is like one of the very best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good drama.
Sweet.
All right, number 3. Charlie Wilson's War,
Never seen that.
2007, starring Tom Hanks and Philip Seymour Hoffman. One of the greatest Philip Seymour Hoffman scenes in it. Versus Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Okay, so I'm okay. Let me think here. I'm gonna go. Bryce, you got to look at me for this. I'm gonna go.
Okay, go ahead, Greg. Tell us what you pick.
I'm going to go the first one. Tom Hanks movie.
You are both incorrect.
Dang.
I baited you correctly. You heard war, and you went towards war.
Let me explain real quick.
I thought
was not going to choose War because I feel like a movie that has Tom Hanks and Philip Seymour Hoffman in it is not specifically about the war,
But
also
you
about
did!
their story and acting. So I was not going to choose that, but I couldn't remember if I'd seen Resident Evil Apocalypse, and I've seen one of them where they're like stuck on a bus in a desert. And not that
same.
many people died in that one.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so, Charlie Wilson's War had 22 deaths, and Resident Evil Apocalypse had 123.
Wow.
1, 2, 3.
We're dead heat.
All right, number 4. 2005's The Constant Gardener versus 1999 Sleepy Hollow, starring Johnny Depp by Tim Burton. Okay, Greg, what do you say? What say you?
I say Sleepy Hollow.
This is the determiner.
Greg, you are correct.
No!
David said The Constant Gardener. So
Never heard of it.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that like sounds so boring.
It is not.
Like The English Patient.
Yeah.
It's like I can't imagine
all
sitting
death
down
all the way
watching.
through.
Okay, last one. David, can you tie it up? Can you pull ahead?
Probably not.
Probably not. All right, last one. 1996, The Crucible, starring Winona Ryder and I think it's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Wow.
Back in the day. Versus 2006, The Omen.
The remake of The Omen. Holy shit.
Which I saw 13 years ago today.
You saw? Did you see? That must mean you saw it in theaters.
On 666.
You saw it on 666. The Omen came out on 666, and you can verify that you've seen it from the recording date. This is historic.
Pretty coincidental.
Okay, David has chosen. What do you choose?
Now I forgot the first
So
one.
The Crucible is about the Salem witch trials,
Yeah.
and The Omen is about a devil child.
The
I'm
Omen.
going to go Crucible.
you are both correct.
Damn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't do too good on this one. I tried to make it tricky, but you guys were too good for me. But Greg pulls ahead with 5 out of 5. David, you got 4 out of 5.
5 out of 5? How am I supposed to compete with that? Greg, show me up on my own show. Get out of here.
I'm sorry.
So that was kill count.
That was fun.
Yeah, so those are our games for the day. That's pretty much everything we got today. Thanks for listening and wasting your time listening to 2 schlubby guys talk about horror movies.
3 schlubby guys.
2 schlubby guys and 1 tatted up
svelte
bad boy. So please, if you like the show, share it with a friend, even if you're not a horror. I mean, you've made it this far. If you've made it this far, like, you like horror movies, you like the show, share it with a friend. I know you got someone that you asked to go see horror movies with you. I
gotta say, to everyone who's still listening, if you are, would like to help out the show, I know you don't think you sharing it makes a big difference, but let me tell you what kind of difference it makes. We have X amount of followers on Facebook. Whenever one person shares it, it doubles the amount of eyes on the post. So if you share any one of our posts, it helps us out a tremendous amount, because when we get 2, 3, 4 shares on there, we're reaching 2, 3, 4 times the amount of people. And that makes a big, big difference to us. So if you can do that, it'll help out us. It'll help out Greg. It'll help out everyone. So let's do that. Let's share. 'Cause it's easy to do and it's like 2 clicks, and don't be a lazy asshole.
Plugs again, shutter.com. Sign up and use code HMT at checkout to get 30-day free trial. We don't get anything from it. This is just a service we offer you. What we do get something out of is if you click on that button in the header of our website to Amazon and spend any amount of money, we'll get a little taste of that. But if you want to be very direct, join our Patreon and become a patron. Become a Horror Movie Talk founding member. The newest Horror Movie Talk founding member, someone dear to our hearts, Garrett D.
Yee. We love you, buddy.
And he's been a listener since the very beginning and given us tips.
Old Cotton Hill.
And opinions. And he's, one of the few people that are regulars on our subreddit at r/horror movie talk. You should join us there too. Again, thanks to our other patrons, Adrian, Brad, Jessica, and Tracy. Just want to point out one more time that we have a special offer on Patreon. If you sign up to be a patron in this next coming month, we'll send you a sweet-ass card with a sticker that you can vandalize places with.
Couple stickers, Bryce. We send a couple.
Yeah, we just like...
You go ahead and you put that sticker, you put that shit on some fucking street lights, you put it on your neighbor's car, your neighbor's dog, your neighbor's window. Shit.
And, yeah, so we want to thank Greg again for coming on the show, and thanks for letting us be on your podcast as well. Why don't you give yourself a plug, Greg?
A butt plug?
Whichever one floats your boat.
Okay. I don't think butt plugs float your boat. Not sure. But, they can plug your boat if you have a leak. But anyways, I am We Shouldn't Be Here. Check out my channel. It's cool. It's fun. You can hear David and Bryce on the Paranormal Activity 2 episode. You can hear me and Bryce barely on Avengers Endgame. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties that day. So the audio didn't come out very good. But it was still a fun time. And I hope, to see some new faces over there on my channel from there, you guys' podcast,
Just a reminder, this is a YouTube channel, so check them out on YouTube. We Shouldn't Be Here.
Yeah, you'll see a scary, ghoulish-looking guy as my icon.
Yeah, so...
And, yeah.
All right, any last bits of wisdom, David, Greg?
No, that's all I got for this week. Check us out next week when we will be reviewing, I think, Child's Play.
Yeah, I think we're doing the original Child's Play.
The original 1987 Child's Play. Excited about that. Ramping up for Child's Play 2019. Gonna do original versus remake.
Yeah. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.